Hey guys, it's Anna and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my most worn fragrances from this summer. Starting off with Chloe Nomade Absolu. Do you see this dent? I literally got this at the start of the summer and that's how much I've gone through. This is a classic chypre fragrance, which means it's dominant in the citrus and oak moss notes. This is a super classy fragrance, like definitely gives me Chanel, like a woman's perfume kind of vibes. It's not a fruity fragrance, it's not a gourmand, it's not a floral fragrance, it's just like straight up it smells like a perfume. But it's more unique than just like the waft that you get when you walk into Macy's. This has a Mirabelle plum in it, which is a really unique note. I've never seen that in any other fragrance, but it's a unique citrus and I really get the rind of the Mirabelle plum because it's not like a juicy, more like typical fruit. I really get that tart, tangy kind of zestiness in this fragrance. And the oak moss is good in here. If you haven't smelled oak moss before, it's kind of like, I would characterize it as like a woody kind of scent with a little bit of greenness, but not overly green. It's very fresh. It has this aromatic, woody, kind of earthy element to it, but not earthy in a dirty way. It also has sandalwood and musk in here. This is a really likable scent. I feel like this is definitely crowd pleasing. A lot of people are gonna enjoy this. People are gonna think you smell expensive, you smell classy, sophisticated, and this is amazing in hot weather. It's very refreshing. Like it doesn't matter how hot it gets, it can get into the hundreds and I can still easily wear this fragrance. Next up is Prada La Femme. This could also easily be a year-round fragrance, signature fragrance. This has such like a kind of creamy, warm quality to it, but it never gets cloying. I actually prefer this in the spring and summer. For some reason in hot weather, it smells better to me. It has yellow florals in here, which are known to be like perfect for summer weather. Like it gives you kind of more of like a tropical vibe. There's woody notes and also beeswax, which adds an interesting element. If you've ever tried Serge Lutens Un Bois Vanille, you'll understand kind of like what that waxy texture smells like in a fragrance. And I can kind of pick up like a little bit of honey. It's sweetened also with vanilla. Honestly, it smells like clean, sweetened, creamy, yellow tropical florals. Also very likable, very crowd pleasing. I actually bought this for one of my friends and coworkers because she would compliment me every single time I would go to work wearing this. Like she was obsessed, and I'd come in wearing this and she's like, okay, you smell good all the time, but this is the best one I've smelled. And then I ended up buying it for her. This is the best Tom Ford I've ever tried. Tom Ford's Jasmin Rouge. Yes, I got a 100 milliliter bottle. And yes, I'm gonna go through it all. Right now, I am to here. This is a jasmine bomb. Very natural, realistic, fresh jasmine. Like jasmine, like right after it's rained. You have like a whole wall of like vines and bushes of jasmine, and they're covered in dew. They're all fresh and clean and crisp. That's this. And then you get a little bit of this like warm amber, my favorite, woody notes, and then you have a lot of like spices going on in the background. Super subtle though. Cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, and pepper. But really, like I would not describe this to be a spicy fragrance at all. So if spices, you're like, not really my thing, I would still try it because honestly the main star of the show is Jasmine. This is such a beautiful, classy, elegant, distinguished scent. Like you're not trying too hard, but you have money. Next is Guerlain's Mon Guerlain. Would you look at this dent? I burn through this fragrance. This is one of my dumb reach fragrances. Like when I don't know what I'm in the mood for, I can reach for this and it's always gonna be a good day. This is a very loved, popular fragrance, so I'm sure you've heard a million times that this is mainly a lavender vanilla fragrance. It does have a little bit of woodiness to it and also a little bit of a powderiness coming from the iris. Very feminine, and it definitely smells designer in a good way and not in a typical kind of way, because I know I mentioned that a lot of designer fragrances tend to smell like the same. To me, this is not it. This is a gem. Super likable, very feminine. I get a lot of compliments with this. And, you know, if you want to smell classy, but you want a perfume with a little bit of sweetness to it, like if you don't want a full-on chypre perfume or floral, this is the option to go for, because you know you have those floral feminine elements, but then you have that sweetness coming from the vanilla that makes you very approachable. It's really a fragrance for all occasions: school, work, meeting your significant other's family. And I also think it's appropriate for a really large age range. I hear, you know, people saying, oh, this is for like a woman or a mother or a wife. Legitimately, I could smell this on anyone. I really think this could work for any age. Next is Parfums de Marly Delina. You guys, I am so excited. I'm dying to try the new Parfums de Marly Oriana fragrance. But low-key, like, I'm a little nervous because of that orange blossom note. You know I'm not a fan, so we'll see how it turns out. But I'm really dying to try it. I'm such a huge fan of this brand, I can't. This is so beautiful in hot weather. Oh my gosh. Honestly, it's just refreshing. When it's really freaking hot out, this is so nice to throw on, because that lychee, because of that tartness, you know, it's not like a full-on like fruity fruit. Because of that little bit of that tart, kind of sour, zingy, sparkling note, it gives it more of a fresh quality. And the rose in here is very light. It's not a thick, heavy, like deep red rose. It's very refreshing, kind of like a watery, light pink or white rose. And then you have peonies in here, which is another kind of light floral. The incense and the woody notes are more subtle. Those are kind of like background players in this fragrance, just there to give it character, so it's not a full-on fruity floral. I know this is crazy hyped, but it's not overhyped. It deserves all the hype it gets. And this is a compliment magnet. Everybody wants to know what this is. And lastly, this is summer in a bottle. This is Guerlain's Aqua Allegoria Coconut Fizz. Honestly, like, I recommend this entire line. Try it, test it out. I feel like all the fragrances from this line are so likable. Not all of them are like full bottle worthy for me personally, but I do find all of them beautiful. They're feminine, they're light, they're fresh, like they're just good. They're very likable. It's a very likable line. I still have a couple left on my list that I really want to try out. I put a pretty good dent in it. As you can see, it's kind of like right at the end of the honeycomb here. I got this perfume specifically to bring with me on my trip to Kauai, so now it reminds me of Kauai. I brought this fragrance and this fragrance only with me because I wanted to create a scent memory, and I now have that, and it just makes me so happy. I highly recommend that if you ever go on a trip or a vacation that you really want to remember, a special destination. Try out some fragrances beforehand. Buy what you love that you find is appropriate for where you're going, and wear that fragrance and thank me later, because it will bring you happiness. It's like they bottled up coconut water in here. You're not getting an artificial coconut, no sunscreeny, like no thick anything like that. It is refreshing, realistic, like coconut water. It has that watery kind of effect element to it, kind of like Delina La Rosée. Honestly, like this entire line kind of has this like dewy kind of effect. People complain about these not lasting the longest, and I do agree, but with this one lasts on me, surprisingly, especially in hot weather. It has a little bit of sweetness in here. It's coming from the tonka bean, almost has like a little bit of a vanillic touch. And then you get freesia, which is a fresh, crisp white floral. And then you have the bergamot, which really gives it just that perfect cherry on top for a summer fragrance, you know, just the refreshing bit of citrus. And even though this is more of a simple fragrance, it stands out. It smells good. This is so much better than all of those like really sunscreeny kind of fragrances. Like you have Tom Ford, Soleil Blanc, Air and Hibiscus Palm, those kind of vibes. It's so like been there, done that. Like I've smelled that a million times. And it's also not like Lemon Pledge or toilet bowl cleaner like citrus. It's literally none of that. It's everything that I've ever wanted in a coconut fragrance and everything that I want with a bit of citrus. So those are all of my most worn fragrances from this summer. Let me know what yours were. I want to know because predominantly my collection is like fall appropriate. It's just like my scent profile. It's just my thing. But I do need to introduce more spring, summer appropriate fragrances. So let me know your recommendations. If you enjoyed, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. If you want to see me in any more videos, I would appreciate it so, so much. I hope you guys are having an amazing day and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!